Ready. My name is Charles F. Burkhardt, Jr. I went through DASH training, that's Drone Anti-Submarine Helicopter, for those unfamiliar with DASH. It is a drone. Now the drones are going around here and there. But after I had finished North Island drone training, I went to the USS Henderson. And then I managed to get a swap because I heard the Orlek was going over to Westpac for a couple of years, and I wanted to go back to Western Pacific. Well, I got the swap over to the Orlek, and for the first few weeks there, I was standing just about everybody else's duty that I could, so I could gain standbys before we got over to Westpac. Because I was what you call a Westpac commando, and I didn't want to stand duty over in Westpac. So I figured I'd make up for the standbys, and I'd have more free time over in the Western Pacific. So we left the States on June 30th, 1964. We arrived in Yokosuka, or Yokosuka as the Americans call it, in July. The Gulf of Tonkin incident happened on 2 August 1964. We got underway Monday, 3 August, and headed down to Market Time or Yankee Station or the South China Sea. From there, we were patrolling back and forth here and there. Then we were on naval gunfire support, which, from what I understand, I used to say it was 11,731 rounds, but now I think I was 10 rounds short on that. It should have been 11,741. I enjoyed the ports of call over there. I mainly had stayed in the Navy to get back to the Philippines to marry a girl that I had met in '62. I had proposed to her before I got transferred from the Philippines, but she didn't say yes, but she didn't say no. So I told her, I'll be back. So it wasn't until, I guess sometime in about '64 or so when we got back, I had taken leave from the ship, was going up to Manila, which is about a 5-hour bus ride. So while I was waiting for the Saulog, which is the Greyhound in the Philippines, the Shore Patrol was contacted to contact me at my leave address because the ship was due to leave with a possible typhoon. Well, I wasn't there yet, so when they went looking for me, they said, 2 years since we've seen him. Well, when I arrived there, I didn't go immediately to the address I had listed. As a result, I didn't find out about the Shore Patrol inquiry until the next morning. I went back to Sangley Point, which is the little air station they had there, and they said, yeah, they were looking for you. Your ship's getting underway at 8 o'clock this morning. Well, here it was 10:30, so I figured, well, no use going back now. I'll just sit in the receiving barracks. Excuse me. So I reported in. They put me on the Chipola, an AO, oiler, that was going back to replenish the ships on the line with fuel. Well, they had been in there in Subic for gyro repairs. We got underway. We were conducting little exercises, and I guess the Chipola started having troubles with their gyros again. So they highlined me over to the Caliente, which was another AO. On the Caliente, the next day, they unwrapped my ship, refueled it, so I was highlined over to the Orlek. When I got on, they said, you gotta go up and see the captain. So the captain says, well, where you been, son? I said, well, I've been here, there, and on 2 ships trying to get back here. So Made it back. And at the time, I worked at the Dash Weapon System, which, as I say, was drone anti-submarine helicopter. We had a couple of missions, though they were just practice missions. Fortunately, the North Vietnamese didn't have any submarines, so we didn't have to worry too much about them. And I used to take care of the shipboard electronics down in Radio 3. So we had one exercise where we were out on a training run, and when they tried to transfer control from CIC back to the flight deck, they couldn't get control at the flight deck. So they could transfer control back to CIC, which was everything was fine. However, from CIC, the radio antenna is extended down. As a result, the drone is unable to land because the antenna is stuck down. If you go to maneuver mode, which would be in a flight deck, then the antenna would be raised and you could land the drone. However, the situation as it was, I started troubleshooting the equipment. We switched antennas, we switched transmitters. Nothing seemed to do anything. I still had a carrier loss when I was in the CIC position. So I started swapping relays. Well, these relays, it was a very poor design on the relay box, in that I could only get 2 fingers down the side of a relay, which was about maybe so tall, in order to unscrew the metal base on there. There was a total of 6 relays that could have caused the problem. Naturally, it's going to be the very last relay that I changed. I got the carrier back. I told them on the sound-powered phones, okay, we're back in the running again. And they said, there it goes. It ran out of gas. Sploosh. That was before they had the flotation capability. So it just went down, 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 and is now somewhere in the bottom of the South China Sea, along with probably a few others in that. But during my career on the Orlek, I had some problems with thrombophlebitis. So when we had a yard period toward the end of '65, I went over to the hospital and they stripped the veins out of my left leg. So I was in there over 30 days. As a result, I was transferred to the receiving station there at the naval base. And naturally, my orders came in to be reassigned to the Orlek. When I got back to the Orlek, they said, oh, the leading ET has been transferred since he made E7, so we'll put Burkhardt, who's an E6 electronic technician, we'll put him as leading ET. So I went down to Ops department. So for about the next 8 or 9 months, I worked in the operations department. So that was 2 sets of orders I had to the Orlek. I don't know if anyone else around has been ordered to the Orlek twice, but I have that distinction. So, and then when the ship was due to rotate back to the States in June of '66, I requested permission to talk to the CO, who requested that I get orders to the Philippines, which fortunately I did. Went to the Philippines, got married, and I'm still married today. Although right now, my wife was unable to attend because she's visiting the daughter. Got my tongue wrapped around my eye tooth, couldn't see what I was saying. She's over in the Netherlands, and I'm here in San Diego. And it'll be about a week after I get home before she arrives back home again. But I enjoyed the 26 months that I spent on the Orlek, and I'm going to say thanks a lot for an assignment there.